Welcome to rHatchery.live. I'm Jose Leal. I'm here with my partner, Matt Perez. And today's guest is Rohit Bagul. Rohit was intended to be a guest about a month ago, but we had some technical difficulties, and we wound up having a tete-to-tete with Matt and I talking about what's happening and some of the things that we're experiencing in the radical community. Which was great. I thought for sort of doing that last second, I thought it worked really well. And we've had some people comment on that podcast and how much they enjoyed it. So Rohit, we've got a lot of questions for you because you're someone that's sort of in that space, working in the real world, dealing with organizational issues and
Yes,
especially on the people side. Tell us a little bit
yes.
about yourself. What's brought you here today, and what have you been doing with your work recently?
Yeah, thank you so much, Jose and Matt. It is a very great honor for me to, represent myself from the all the entire people ops teams, or we can say the all the entire old traditionally we call that HR. Yes, so I have been working in HR, or we can say the people team, last 6+ years in especially in IT industry. I face lots of challenges. We successfully executed many projects, and I become a part of the various projects related to the organization levels. Yes, I have predominantly rely on the traditional HR practices last 6 years, and did deliver my work. Yes, and then I faced lots of issue. And the main part of it is the main thing is that my personal opinions is, if for this all the transformation, it is called that if you have a courage, if you face the challenges, and if you have a courage, then you will get all these things. Because from my childhood, I read revolutionary books about this. I always talk about revolution or innovation in my entire journey. Every time we talk about innovation from my childhood to till now. So this is the main thing where I personally feel that whatever I see the challenges, whatever I see the problems, where you not reach properly, and then identify these things and work out how we can avoid these things, and how can we make a better part. So yes, I have faced so many challenges in my journey.
Well, so the title of today's podcast is an inspiring transformational journey in HR. So that's your journey. What you said that you've been from a young age been thinking we need to change things. That there is a, a thing that needs to um, be different than what it is. What more recently has caused you to start doing things differently? And what is it that you're doing differently now?
Yeah. I basically I didn't get any identification of my challenges, because yes, these are my personal challenge. Because in the before, yeah, this is the advanced technology. Because that time I think we are using we are the most means globally HR is the most advanced before we I think about these planets. Because we are using a 60s or 80s objectives, and still we running right now. And the currently the global globally we change the globalization. Due to the globalization, we entire businesses had changes, and we run differently. Before that, we are using like assets, our assets, call the assets to the our people. And right now, especially I realize after the COVID pandemic, because COVID pandemic hit us up very badly. And that
Mhm.
time I realized we are not advanced on that level, so we need to transform ourselves. That time we are facing lots of challenges. I personally as a HR feel that total when we talk with the others, so my same professional folks, so we talk about what is the challenges, what we all are discussing about these things. So that time we identify and we realize these all the methods we are using, and we call that very proudly that time. Okay, but these are create a several problems. These are not sufficient. These are not
Can I
sufficient
ask you
for the
to
achieving.
detail some of those? Can you uh, point out the ones that you guys, you and your colleagues in the industry identified as here's the things that we're doing that aren't working?
Yeah, there is a many like is in when the COVID pandemic hit. Okay, so tradition we are using a traditional, but that they like for example we want to connect to the people. So I asked my one of my friend who is an expert in the HR. So how can we connect all these things? So he say you connect with these using the Google Meet or Zoom. I say I don't want to medium. I want to ask how can I connect to the people in the COVID pandemic. So I don't want to any medium because of we are facing the limited accessibility. We do not have any collaboration. Okay, is to the because before we are using the old traditional methods, and that methods like people reach you if they have a problem. Yes, so they have problem, then they connect with you, that is, and you resolve their query. So you are not going to connect them, hey, how's everything is going, how what exactly you need, how's what is the going on. Before that, they are come to us, yeah, I have this query and I am working on that particular area, so can you please resolve these things. So this is the very small, these are the very small things, but we realize no, this is the very huge challenge we are facing. We are
And
not
part
reach out to people.
what I'm hearing you say is that the problem of the way that we've worked is has kept us disconnected.
Yes,
That it's been a process of working for the work itself, but not connecting as people.
yes,
And your
yes,
question was, how do we connect as people?
Yes, people.
yes, yes, because this is the first time I realize how as a the people think about I am the HR. Okay, so first of all they are think about, okay, if HR is talk to you means there is a big issues and they create a something lot. So personally I create a mess and I think a big mistake, that's why HR is contact to me. But we need to try to convey them, oh no, I we just want to chat with you, hi, everything is going on, how's these things. So this is the little bit change, and I started to observe all this time. So this is the main concerns where I'm thinking about, so how can this change, we can change that.
So, how was this received by other people in HR?
Sorry.
How was it received by the other people in HR? Or did they say, "Oh, great idea, let's do that," or what? You know, what was the range of connection of receptions that you had?
Yes, before means before the these things, they are like they feel afraid about the HR. The HR is coming to me, means these things is not getting properly. When we ping them, when we try to talk them, reach them without any topic. So that time they feel something nervous. So these is the challenges.
But that's what you say. The teams, the staff, were feeling about you doing something different. That, but I think what Matt was asking was before that. your colleagues in the HR department, when you said, "Hey, we need to do something different," did they agree with that, or did they disagree with those ideas of we need to do something different?
No, they agree with that, because of they also, when I convey them these things, so they also agree with that. I'm talking about, if I'm talking about my organization, current organization, Casepoint. Casepoint have a very good. It's a people oriented. Their vision, mission, and their values is also okay. So that's why we already think that in our mind.
Yeah.
So by using this, we I try to convey with my colleagues and my team, so they also understand this all the parts very quickly, because they also facing a same issue in that time.
And your colleagues outside of Case Point, did they also feel the same way? They were also going through the same things, you think?
Uh, yes, my many friends see they are not associated with my company current organization, so they are also facing the same issues, because they also talking about how can we, because the entire world after the in COVID pandemic, the change, the entire work system is changed, working pattern is changed, working style is a change. So it is a very hard to adopt all these things. So my friends who is in HR with the various different organization, they call in the COVID pandemic. So we take a call and we just talk about what exactly things are going, what how can we work on that. So these are very small things, we started to interconnect each and each other, so we identify these all those perspectives. Yes, they are also agree with that part, and they also try to think about how can we change all these things, how can we connect all these things. Yeah.
And so one of the things that you've started to work with is agile. Was agile something that you had before this change, this pandemic change, or was this a new thing for you guys?
This is a new thing for us, because yes, we are familiar with before COVID pandemic also, because our product teams are using in our organization. So we understand how the agile is working, and what is their uh, their working styles and working patterns. But they are for the software development teams. The agile is mostly they for the specialized for the software development. These are all the different things, and when you try to come into the and implement into the HR or the people ops functions, then it is a very different part. Because when I started to explore about the agility, when we introduce about the agile things, when we see the when I personally see the product teams are working, they are ready to tackle all this entire Oka world or Bani world. We can say that uncertain things has happened. They are ready to tackle all these things, because I personally observe we achieve our goals, as in the organization product teams achieve their goals, and this is the most important part for us. And the this is the our first inspiration I personally get. And that time I talk about myself, yes, right now I need to change myself.
So, how did you adapt Agile to the HR? I mean, let me ask you something. How did it work before the pandemic? Did you go around and talk to people and say, "Yeah, how are you? And how are your kids?" And, "Oh, I don't have any kids." And, "Well, when you have kids, whatever." How did it work before?
Before we just concentrate about the people's queries coming, and then we resolve. This is the main first thing. Okay. So mostly our focus is to resolve the queries of whatever the people is reached to you, resolve the queries, and try to go ahead.
So
Okay, so this is the
sort of a
basically.
firefighting. Sorry for interrupting, Rohit, but it
Yes, yes,
sounds like you're sort of saying it was sort of a firefighting thing. If somebody said there's a fire, we went and helped them with the
yes,
fire. But
we are
unless
ready.
there was a fire, we didn't have to talk to them.
Yes, right. So not much more we talk that. But personally, I initiate some things into the my all the entire journey. So because I am the social person and I come from the social work master graduate, completed social work in my post graduation also. So that is why I try to approach to the people. So what is the hi, hello, how are you? But they are think about the, yeah, HR is coming here, so just for complete the formalities. Okay, hi, hello, so they talk about, okay, so I have a query, so can you please,
Right.
so it's a general talk.
You weren't very well trusted.
Right. Yes, yes. So it is very hard for me to gain the trust people, because if they talk about the HR, okay, so little bit they are afraid. Okay, so I speak something about some things related to the my work or any kind of the things, especially my manager, and if he says to the my manager, and then my entire career is in so yes, it is a very hard for me to gain the people trust. To people try, I personally take these things to try to ask to the people, speak up. So I'm not saying all these things because confidentiality is my personal this core value. So you can speak with me anything you can, but it is not work properly that time also.
So it was a problem before that you were disconnected
Yes.
from people. The pandemic hits, and now you're physically remote. So it's the same problem, but more obvious that you're
Yeah.
disconnected from people, and you felt
Yes.
the need to connect with people rather than connect with work, was what you were doing before the firefighting that Jose mentioned. So, how did you resolve that? How did you go about resolving it?
Sorry.
How did you go about fixing the problem? Well, not fixing,
Hmm.
being more connected to people rather than through work.
What
Yes.
did you do? What did you do to
Yes.
build more connections?
Yes. So, yes, I already share one thing, because I saw my our company's product teams they are using the agile way, and they communicating with each others with the very so, because agile is not process. I personally think that agile is a behavior. Okay, so that is the main thing I identify in my so this is called I take this very seriously about the agile is a behavior, and you need to, because if the business is in this global era, okay, so after the COVID pandemic, we need to focus about the people first. Businesses is because they are the people who are achieving your goals, so people is the most important part. Okay, and thankful to my current organization, because they have some people oriented uh, their core values, their vision, mission. That's why uh, it is quickly adapted for me to implement these agile and these new innovative uh, these practices implement to the my day to day work. So that's why there is a any means in COVID pandemic, once I started to learn agile about the agile, and then I try to implement these things to the my work. So it is a very helpful me to connect with the people, and also other all the details, other all the tasks, it is helped me to complete, to achieve the delivery and quality. So it is helped me to give me the direction is a strategic level. Yeah, and that is the most important. Before that, they come to me and resolve the query. Right now I am that I am feel that like I'm to the reach the problem first and resolve the query before the person reach to me as an HR.
To identify the problem before they have to come to you, and to help them
Yes,
with the
yes,
problem before they have to, so that you're
yes,
not doing emergency firefighting, you're actually proactively helping people before that it becomes an issue.
Yes.
And it sounded like, I really like what you just said about agile is not about practice, agile is about behavior. I think that's very, very true. It should be.
It should
It
be.
should be. But um, I think you probably feel this and see this. Agile, in most cases, is actually just a set of practices, and people don't really change their
Yes.
behavior. They just do the practices.
Yes.
Um, have you been able to change that, to flip that from a bunch of practices to really people feeling it and actually being part of their change in how they see each other and how they behave?
Yes, I'm also think about when you adopt agile pro as a process, then you stuck into the same way. You just follow that particular repetitive cycle, and you just flow with them. But as a people operation, when you work as a people operation team and you think your personal client is a people, okay, and this is your most important thing into the organization, that time um I'm not go through that particular process. I just follow what exactly, because agile is a nimbleness. So whenever the people have something related to the for example, it is the culture, about the culture, we can say the organization culture, because this is the most important part of the agile, we can okay. if if you have a courage to transform, then concentrate on the culture, because the base on the culture, your people are work with the very dedicatedly, and then you as a people operation team, you as a people team, you achieve your goals.
And
So
what's your definition of culture? What do
my
you describe culture as?
yes, my definition is about the culture is what I believe and what I behave. Because the culture is not like it's like a super and all these things. It is what you behave on the floor, how to behave to the floor, what you do into your day to day work, each and every day. Because these people's these experience you can correlate, you collect as a feedback, and you can build your culture with that level. So this is my culture.
And so it's about you changing your beliefs and your behaviors and other people
Yes.
doing the same. And that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
So
Yes.
one of the things that we do with, as we envision a future that is not based on the force that we use right now, what we call a fiat system, where
Yes.
everything is from the top, right? Uh, you have to do this because I say so. Here's the rules. You must obey the rules. If you don't obey the rules, you're out of here. And more
Yes.
about what is it that you as a person need, and how can we help you do the things that you want to do as a interdependent way of working together that is about collaboration, not about
Yes.
imposing force.
Yes.
That
Right.
for us, that's a big part of this process. But one of the things that I wonder there in India, because I think it's the first time we've interviewed someone from India on this podcast
Yes.
about this topic, and I really appreciate that you're willing to be talking to us at the other time of the world, because I know it's very, very late for you right there,
Mhm.
right
Yes.
now. So I appreciate that. And the the question that I think is burning for me, Rohit, is we think that the changes that you're describing are essential, and we see that as part of a co-management way of doing things. where everybody's involved, everybody's working
Yes.
on a relationship, everybody's working on
Yes.
connecting, and that part of the equation is very important. But that we really can't do that unless there's also what we call co-ownership, that everybody is not only collaborating with each other, but that they also benefit from the outcome of that collaboration, and that it's not someone else who's got the power to change the rules, to adjust, to change, to make all the money, number one, or a lot of the money,
Yes.
and number two, to also have the ability to say, yeah, we don't want to do agile anymore, we're going to do something else because I'm the boss and you don't have that thing. Do you think that the Indian corporate culture is capable of making that step? That step is something that might happen?
Uh, Actually, if you think you talk about this, so first of all, if the organization have a courage, their bosses or the management have the courage to the change, then it will be started. Okay, so why we I personally or my team is started to think about very different level, because we whenever the situation is whenever we identify the situation, and then we are the person to share all the detail with our all the management team. Okay, these are the concerns, these are the solution, we need to do that. So they put their suggestions and we describe all these things and then we share to the people. In India, agile into the people functions or HR functions, literally we can say about only 1% or 2%
Okay.
implement in the organization. Okay, so because of, if you want to adopt agile as a behavior, not as the process, then you need to think about, you need to courage, because you need to talk about with your people. And first of all you need to change your mentality. You think uh, uh, about to the change, about the transformation. You think about your business's goal also, because if your culture is good, your people are, if you think you are people oriented, your team is working to the people first, then your business goal is achieve whatever you say.
Yeah,
So
and it sounds like it's very early in that transition there.
yes.
That you don't see the transition um, being far enough along to even ask the question about ownership. Is that a fair way to answer that? Because you avoided the question a little bit, and it sounds like what you're saying is we're not even there yet. It's way too early to have that conversation.
Yeah, no, no, I'm not avoiding any things, because we believe in openness, and that's why I'm here. So
No, I
yes,
appreciate that, but
yes.
what I mean is, do you think that uh, your organization or the other organizations of your friends that are working in HR, that they are even thinking at the level where they say the only way that agile, as an example, could really work is if we change the way that the ownership structure is done? Do you think they're there yet? That they're thinking about that?
Right now, we have only one option to the agile things. But yes, when we try to explore ourselves, when we are try to explore in various things like AI is on our boom, AI in the global, they are going to settle down into the global world. So this is also one thing. So if in future any other technique, we can say the process or any kind of the things, if we um, identify, then we will be welcome. But initially this is our first uh, footstep to break all the traditional things, and right now we are thinking about something new. Okay, so when we identify, because we recently started to using a design thinking also into the design thinking into the people operation teams when they are using, and they try to repeat the all the entire session. Okay, so if we fail, then again experiment. If we fail, again experiment, and then we
Yeah,
get something new
that's
in
perfect.
future.
That's perfect.
Okay, I think we're out of time, and next week guest is, I think, is Hema or Gemma John, PhD social sustainability specialist, and she's coming to us from Cape Town, South Africa. So talk about far.
Yes. Well, from India one week to Cape Town the next. So
Yeah, it's
really enjoying the fact that we get to meet such uh, people from different places and with different experiences.
yeah. We have to do the South Pole and North Pole.
Yeah.
So that's the person last week, and we thank you, Rohit. We thank you for your time and your effort, and your staying up until all hours of the night to do this. So really appreciate it.
Yeah. And Rohit, if any of your colleagues are, you think, doing things that would be interesting for the radical community to hear, and exploring new things,
Yes,
we'd love to hear more about that, and please feel free to share them with us, and vice versa,
yes,
us with
yes,
them.
yes. Yeah, sure, sure. Because today I talk with my team members also about this. Today I'm going to invited for this show, and I told them because I'm very feeling very nervous. Uh, but when the our conversation is started, then I feel very comfortable because yes, it is a very good conversation and healthy conversation we are guys doing, and yes, of course, I share if anyone is doing a these things I can share their names with you and contact, because
Awesome.
in India we are promoting to the we create our agile people ops community to encourage to the agile behaviors into the implement into the processes and things. So yes, every month we are doing to the one webinar about the different topics related to the people ops and agile. So our things is going on.
Yeah, if you would like us to speak at one of those one month, please let us know. It would be interesting to have that conversation with your community.
Yes, sure, sure. I already in my mind that.
A pleasure, Rohit. Thank you again for the time, for the work you're doing, because I
Thank
know
you.
it's important work to change the way we work. We both do.
Yes.
And so appreciate you taking the time and the effort that you're doing. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.